Meal planning is not just about using a specific amount of money and making meals for the week. It's actually about looking at what you have on hand already in your pantry, refrigerator, and freezer, and figuring out what you can make with only the ingredients that you have, and then only picking up the ingredients that you need to complete those meals. And a lot of times we're looking at sale items, clearance items, to really complete those meals so we can save as much money as possible. So let me show you this week how I do that, the specific way I'm able to stay organized, and a bunch of recipes using odds and ends that I have on hand. Let's go. So for me, I actually have a meal planner that I created because I couldn't find anything that was budget friendly and didn't come with all the frills. I just wanted something really basic so I could take it with me to the store. It would fit in my bag. And so this is what I came up with. It comes with inventory sheets in the front, which I have also labeled to show different sections, as well as the pantry, refrigerator, and freezer. I put individual sections for veggies, fruit, or perishable items and non-perishable items. So I've done that, and that's what I do every single week is I take inventory first. Then I start thinking about the meals I can make using just those ingredients. And if I'm ever stumped about what to make and I just don't know what to do with those ingredients, I usually go on a website like supercook.com where you can input all of the pantry, refrigerator, and freezer items that you have, and it'll give you tried and true recipes from the internet with reviews and things like that that you can look at and maybe get some inspiration or find a new recipe, or maybe you just hadn't thought to make something. So I like to use that if I'm ever in a rut. Once I figure out what kind of meals I'd like to make for the week, I just put them here on my meal plan. And then if I'm missing an ingredient, let's say I need a certain protein or veggie, then I'll write that here on the list. And I usually try to just lean on the sale items for those missing things. So if I just need a vegetable, I'll see what's on sale that week, or a fruit, I'll just lean on the sales for that. Then I usually give myself about $10 for clearance items too to add to my inventory. And anytime there's anything extra at the end of the week, I throw it in the freezer to use at a later time. All of these little things really add up. Now, after I've written my list, I'm just gonna take this to the store, follow the list exactly, and avoid impulse buys, and then just do the plan. Make what I've written down, and that's it. And that has saved me thousands of dollars. Just using a little book like this keeps me on task, but you could definitely just do it in your phone. There's lots of apps these days that do that, or your notes pages, or even just a little piece of paper. Anything will work. Okay, let's get started on this week, and I'm gonna take you to the grocery store so I can show you what I bought, and then we'll make some food. So tonight is Monday, so we're gonna follow the plan. So tonight is raid the freezer night, so let's go ahead and see what we have from the freezer. I'm just gonna pull out some lentil curry for myself, looks a little wonky. And my kids are gonna have pizza. I have a couple slices of pizza and some crazy bread, which is just breadsticks. So I'm gonna go ahead and heat that up, and then we're probably gonna just grab an apple or something else to go with it. It's gonna be really basic tonight, just trying to clear out some of the freezer and fridge. Daughter's making some pickle dip, and she's gonna have that with some carrots on the side to go with her dinner. And my son is having this last French bread pizza. I'm gonna end up having the leftover pizza slices from the freezer too. I took my list to the grocery store, but I'm gonna show you what it looked like in my cart so you can see exactly what I picked up. And then we're gonna get to cooking. And I wanna show you what I spent too. Okay, now this definitely has to be it for today. We found a lot of good deals today. I only ended up spending $58.71. These are the trickiest veggie that I find to keep fresh. So this is what I did last time. It worked really well, so I wanted to show you. So the most important part is to get them really, really dry. So right when you get home, take them out of that plastic container, get them really dry. And then I like to line a glass container with paper towels and then layer them. So that way they're not touching, and we're gonna have some airflow. And then I like to put a paper towel on top. Now, if you don't use paper towels, just use a clean towel, and you can kind of layer it and just make sure it's in an airtight container, and that should help them last a lot longer. At least it's worked for me. Tonight is Tuesday, and I've got roasted chicken with corn on the cob and roasted potato halves. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Tonight I'm gonna use these frozen chicken breasts up and bake some potatoes at the same time. I'm just gonna do halved potatoes. My son requested corn on the cob, so we're gonna do that with this. I know it's kind of like a lot of starchy things, but I'm also going to serve this with some baby carrots on the side too. But we're just going to kind of whip it up and see what happens. Now for chicken breasts, I just like to do salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic powder and paprika. So I'm just going to season with salt. And I think it sticks just fine. I know it doesn't look like it's going to, but I've had good experiences with it. I'm just going to cook up all this chicken because it does shrink a little bit too. And then if I have extra, I can use it for something else this week. So black pepper's next, garlic powder, and paprika. All right, I'm just gonna toss this in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for probably about 35 or 40 minutes, and I'll check it because sometimes it cooks a lot faster than I expect, but these are pretty thick, so we'll just see how it goes. Might take up to 50 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these in half as well, just because we tend to not eat the entire thing. Well, the adults do, but the kids don't. So I'm just going to cut them in half. Okay, I'm gonna set these aside. I'm gonna boil them up later. They won't take very long. I'm just gonna have my potatoes this time, and the last time I did this, it worked really well, but we didn't get the crispy crust, and my daughter requested I do some with just oil, salt, and pepper, so I'm gonna do that and see if I can kind of replicate the nice crispy crust that I normally get on baked potatoes. So I'm gonna do some with all the seasonings and some with just salt and pepper, and we're just gonna see how it goes. So let's start with these. I'm just gonna do oil. This is olive oil. You can use any oil that you like. Give that kind of a toss. Next we'll do salt, a little bit of black pepper, a little bit more salt. I'll get these with the cut side down on the baking sheet, and I am going to put these on the top of my oven and see if I can't get a crispy skin on them by doing that. I don't want to crowd them. There's those. With these ones, I'll also toss with some oil and salt and pepper. Yeah. Okay. Small crisis averted. Okay. And a little bit of garlic powder and a little paprika as well. Was that an earthquake just now? I swear, we have earthquakes all the time, and I never know if it's an earthquake or just me being busy. All right. A little bit more oil, I think. Let's season a little bit more. A little more salt, pepper, garlic powder, and paprika. Put these on a parchment lined baking sheet. Cut side down, of course. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss these on the middle rack with the chicken, and I'll put those on the top rack. And we're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna do a test. It's at 375. Now I'm gonna start boiling my water here, and of course I've got the lid on, so that way it boils faster with less energy. And then I'm gonna add some kosher salt, and then we'll pop in the corn. To add a little bit more nutrition to this meal, I'm gonna come out and get some parsley, which is so funny. I thought this was cilantro, and I used it on something, and I was like, that tastes a little different. It's not so strong. Here's the parsley, and here's the cilantro. That's why I was confused, because they're similar. They look similar. Okay, let's get some parsley, a little bit more. Let's get a bunch though, because it's kind of taking over. What's going on there? Well, that's a spider, so I'll leave that be. What's all that racket, Barnaby? My bok choy got eaten. Blackberries are growing nice though. Look at that. Okay, gosh, it's loud out here right now. I had to take down an old birch tree. I just pushed it down. It was dead. Okay, let's see. I need some jalapenos. Sorry about the noise. There's construction again. I have one in the fridge I can use. Come on. They're never this hard to take off. This one looks good too. Okay, so a couple of jalapenos. I don't think I need a whole lot. I'll leave the rest of the plant. Maybe I'll get a little bit of thyme. Okay, this is boiling. So let's add the kosher salt. Always wait until it boils to add the kosher salt. Otherwise, if you add the salt at the beginning, it will make these little pits, like little holes in the bottom of your stainless pot. I didn't know that till recently, so I'm telling you, so you don't make the same mistake. I'm just gonna drop in my corn on the cob. This is only gonna take about 5 to 7 minutes boiling. And then when it's done, I can just kind of set it aside in a covered container with a little bit of butter, and it'll be ready whenever everything else is. You know what? I am gonna dip into my emergency stash and get out some baked beans, because I really want beans with dinner. Let's see, bold and spicy or regular baked beans. This one has no bacon in it, so I bet this one has less protein. Nope, same amount of protein. Okay, well, oh, my corn is done. All right, so let me get my corn out. It's all done. Beautiful. I'm just going to add this to a plate and top it with some unsalted butter, since the water was salted. Now, what do you suppose would be a good use for this corn water. I feel like it's such a waste to just throw it out. I need to look it up. Let's see how these potatoes are doing. Ooh, all the steam. So here are the ones on top. Okay, those ones appear to be ready. Just not that crispy yet. Let's see about the ones in the middle. And this chicken looks like it might be ready too. I put some on the bottom too as a test. So let's see where we're at with that. Okay, these are cooked through too. They're definitely crispier on the cut side though. So interesting, okay. I just turned on the broiler for a minute or so, and I'm just gonna get the tops of these ones that were up on the top rack a little bit more crispy, so that way we have some that are super crispy. And most of the chicken was cooked through. This one back here is at 160. I'm kind of weird. I really would rather have it overcooked. So this one I won't use for tonight, and I'll make sure that that goes into something else. And these other ones are at 165 or more, because obviously these ones are not as thick. So they're all cooked through, and I'm gonna make sure that I save the broth as well. So once this is cool, I'll transfer this, I'll strain it into an airtight container. And this is essentially just a really weak vegetable broth, so I'll save that as well. And if I can't use it this week, I'll put it in the freezer. And then I went ahead and did the baked beans that are not spicy, so that way the kids can try them and see if they like them. I know it has bacon. I'm not a big fan of bacon, just because you know, I don't know, it just hurts my stomach and it's not my favorite. But anyway, I am going to serve that on the side, and with some fresh herbs, carrots, and the corn, of course. So I actually have a permanent retainer, so I need to cut off the corn for myself. And there we go, that's dinner. This is mine. I just put some fresh thyme on top and some fresh jalapenos in my beans. And then for my kids, I added some carrots, and my daughter's gonna have some grapes. And then my son, he hopefully will try this little piece of grape. And then I put some carrots, corn, one of the potatoes, chicken, and a little thyme, so he can add that on top himself. I cut the corn off of the rest of the cobs here, and I'm gonna save the cobs for some veggie stock later. So I'll just throw these in the freezer with my veggies. There we go. Today is Wednesday, and I've written down black bean patties on bread with melts with broccoli, which is so delicious. But you know what? I'm gonna take a look in the fridge and see what I can do with what I have left over from yesterday. We have so much chicken left over from last night that we're gonna go ahead and do leftovers, plus a couple of additional things. So, whoa, that was lucky, that didn't break. Holy smokes. And I'm gonna make something with this can of lentils too, because the dinner from last night hurt my stomach a little bit. So we're gonna try something different. My daughter cut up all of her own veggies and fruits, so she's having celery, carrots, peaches, and apples. And then she's also gonna have a potato from last night, some chicken nuggets, and some of the chicken from last night too. So this is what she's having. And my son's just missing his potato, but other than that, this is what I'm gonna serve for him. I'm gonna add half a can of drained and rinsed lentils to my bowl, and some cooked corn. Just gonna add maybe a quarter cup, maybe a little bit more. Some diced jalapeno, and then some salsa. A little bit of salt, a bit of black pepper. Let's mix it up, and then I'm gonna taste it and see what it needs.
Maybe a bit of salt or pepper?
Yeah, and it might need like lime or lemon juice or something like that.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I bet it would be good with some
Beans.
onion. It does have beans. It's lentils too.
Lentils are beans?
Well, not technically, they're legumes.
Legumes are beans.
Mmm.
It sounds like legumes.
You okay?
Yes.
Ooh, that's delicious. I think I'm just gonna eat it just like that. It would be great with cheese though, and basically anything you want to add, but that is really good. So simple. I'm just gonna eat it like this. I ended up adding some diced avocado, and it is so good like that too. Just what it needed. Oh my gosh, this is perfect. I hope you try it. So I have several other things written down for the rest of the week, but I'm actually going to have to use different produce that I have on hand. So instead of the stuffed poblano peppers and the taco empanadas, I'm gonna move those to the following week. And I'm just gonna use what I have on hand to make meals for the next couple days, because I see a lot of produce that I need to use before I go forward with these ones. So let's go ahead and see what I can make for the rest of the week. This honestly happens a lot each week, where the days kind of look a little bit different than I planned, just based on what leftovers I had from the night before. So I frequently change my mind, but then that just means I'll move the meals to another day later in the next week, or just later in the current week, and it all works out. As long as I'm not throwing anything away, we're good. So if it's about to go bad and I'm not able to use it, I will throw it in the freezer for later. So I'm gonna make a mixture to add to a bell pepper or on top of a potato. I'm just gonna start with drained and rinsed black beans. I've got some cubed cooked chicken, And a little bit of chopped bell peppers. I am filling the bell peppers, but this is the extra. Some diced jalapeno, a little bit of green onion from the garden. Now I'm just gonna add in some spices, a little bit of cumin, some garlic powder, some chili powder. Mix this all together. Stuffed peppers.
Oh, stop.
I'm gonna fill my bell peppers. Add those to my air fryer. I'm just gonna top this with some shredded cheese. And I've also added it on top of some cooked halved potatoes too. I'm just gonna throw this in the air fryer for about 10 minutes. For my dinner, and maybe for my husband's, I'm also gonna whip up a really quick creamy salsa dressing just with some Greek yogurt and just some salsa. Super easy. Just gonna mix this up until it's combined. Okay, that's it for our dressing, super easy. And to my bowl, I've added some drained and rinsed lentils, some diced avocado, diced bell pepper, and diced jalapeno. Also gonna add in some green onions from the garden. And I'm going to add in a little bit of fresh cilantro too. Add in some of that dressing. Mix this all up. Normally I add corn, but I don't have corn right now. Add a little salt and pepper. I'm gonna add in a little salt and pepper. Some pepper, and I'll give it a stir. Okay, now let me taste it. Hopefully it's good. Spicy but delicious. Ooh, super spicy. No, that's dinner for me. And here's what my husband's dinner looks like, and he's got some filling for tomorrow too. There we go. I'm just gonna put on some avocado, Greek yogurt dressing, or the salsa dressing, and maybe some cilantro on top, or green onions or something like that. So I'm just gonna kind of fix it up with some garnish. My husband's gonna have some of the cold salad on the side too, and a bunch of hot sauce, of course.
Not a bunch, this one's spicy.
Okay, not a bunch. Funky's Hot Sauce Factory Nirvana. Oh my gosh, Dragon's Breath sauce. Oh my gosh, it looks spicy. The kids are off school and we're starting the day with a delicious breakfast of chocolate muffins from the freezer, pumpkin bread from the freezer, and then I'm also going to chop up these cooked potatoes and throw those in the air fryer to have some home fries. All right, so I made these a little bit smaller because my daughter wants them crispier, so I'm gonna throw these in the air fryer for maybe 5 to 7 minutes, then we'll check on them. And then my daughter's gonna have a giant side of watermelon with blackberries, and I'm also gonna have some blackberries too. And there they are. I've already served up the kids, but they're nice and crispy after just, 5 minutes or so. It doesn't take that long. Now I've got a watermelon and I want to show you my favorite way to cut the watermelon. So let's go. First, I'm going to wash and dry my melon. Always wash your melons first. Be right back. So to wash my watermelon, I just like to run it under cool water and give it a scrub with a produce brush or a paper towel or a clean towel. Then I'll dry it thoroughly before I cut it. I like to put this down before I get my cutting board so it keeps the cutting board from slipping. Then you're gonna get the cutting board that you don't use to cut onions. Get that all set up. Now that it's nice and clean and dry, we'll get started. So first, I like to cut off the ends and make sure you have a nice sharp knife when you do this. Perfect. And if you have chickens, I hear that they like this, so you can give that to your chickens. Then we're just gonna stand it up so that way it's nice and stable. Now we're just gonna cut off the rind as close as we can to the fruit so we're not wasting any. Here we go. We're just gonna keep doing this until we've got all the rind off. And apparently you can make pickled rind or candied rind too, so you can save these. Now that we've cut off all the rind, we're gonna cut it in half. Go. Oh my gosh, look how pretty. Okay, so we'll set one half aside and then put the other half on the flat end here and slice. And you can serve it like this for brunch if you want, but I like to do cubes. So in order to do super easy cubes, we're just gonna take half and turn it up on its side again. So do that with both sides here. And then we're going to slice it in spears, like so. And then just turn it again and slice it into cubes. And so there's no mess. And this will be super easy to keep in the fridge for about 3 to 5 days or so. Would like some watermelon? Your baby. Try again. There you go, you did it. Who's a good boy? He's my good boy. Okay, bye. Hope you enjoyed that video, at least got a few ideas for something new to try in your home this week and hopefully save you a little bit of money. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. It really helps my channel Subscribe to see more. I try to post videos every single week, so make sure you put that little bell on for notifications so that way you know anytime that I post a new video. And if you've noticed, I have been posting a few short videos as well for some of my most popular recipes, so make sure you check those out too. And let me know if you enjoy that, if you like to see the shorts as well. Now, YouTube thinks that you'd like to watch another video, so if you have time today, go ahead and click on it wherever it is. Enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.